Alright, so making another video here on the 2001 B5 Audi S4. And just gonna kind of do like a video of everything that's wrong with the car. And then my next video, I'm gonna probably do like everything I like about it. But, so going through on the interior while I'm here before I go, I have a haircut appointment I gotta get to. I'm a little buzzed right now off of, off of these motherfuckers. So, when you take these early in the morning, they actually, it hits pretty good. So take a couple, pop a couple of them motherfuckers in the morning and you feel pretty good. So on the interior, everything that's wrong, you can't really, I don't know if the glass you'd consider interior, exterior. You can't feel the crack on the inside, so probably exterior, but the glass is cracked. Next thing is it's missing the it's just a common thing. These buttons are cheap on these old German cars. Like any of these pop off, but this one happens to be the 6th memory for the radio, 6th station or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Yeah, I don't care. I don't use the radio. The radio doesn't come in at all. I don't know why. No channel comes in, but luckily the previous owner had wired in this guy, so it's just an aux cord, and it took me forever to figure out. I thought I had no radio unless I put a CD in. But you turn it on, Bose audio. Speakers actually sound good, but the front two, door ones are blown, and the rear ones have a whine to them. Which you can hear if you drive. It sounds like a rear-mounted supercharger. No joke. It's weird. But if you turn the music up, you don't hear it. And if you put it on CDC, that's what it's wired into. The aux cord is. Or you could do like a tape or anything, but I listen to my music on CDC, and minus a very small whine when the music is turned up, it's actually really good speakers. The bass is good, and everything works. Next thing, this doesn't open. I gotta dig into that and figure out why. I want to find out if that motherfucker left any quarters in it. I want his quarters. I always fill this thing up right here with quarters, and then I put them in my jar and cash it out once a month. Next thing is this guy. This is not connected because I don't know why. I'm guessing he broke the tabs on it when he was going to replace the hazard switch, but he never did. So when I got it, the blinkers never worked, but they do now because it was the hazard switch. So I replaced that. As you can see, it's literally like brand new, but it sticks. It sticks in. The hazards are not even on, and it sticks in. Bitch, come on. Bitch, please. Come back out. So, because I ordered a cheap eBay one. I gotta deal with that shit. You stay there, don't spill. You go in, you come off. You be normal. Thank you. So, and the weird cup holder, you push in, it comes out. It's just old German cars. They were strange people. Let's just be honest. German people were strange people. And I fixed that cup holder. That was stuck in too. It was just a tab was stuck and dirty, like full of gunk. So I'm guessing that's the same with this guy, but I want to see what's in here. But so I'm gonna have to like pull this stuff off and like pull that out and then figure it out and clean it. Well, other than that, interior is pretty good. The gauges work. My coolant level sensor is bad. When I was doing the spark plugs, I had to move the coolant tank out of the way, like the expansion tank, and the sensor on the bottom yanked out of it on accident. Because I didn't really care. Why are you snowing inside my car? That would be why. I'm pretty buzzed right now, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, everything else works. Like everything works minus the speaker buzz and those couple little goofy things. This guy works good. It locks good. Got a title and some insurance with some spare money in there. Like a couple $50, I don't know. The only other thing is the Alcantara is dirty. That's about it. But I mean, it could use a good scrub with a brush and a shampoo and call it good, and it would look really good. It's like a limited gray color on the black S4. I don't know if it's limited, but that's what I've heard. Boost gauge works. Car sounds pretty freaking good, not gonna lie. But yeah, there's not really much else on the interior that's broken. When you shut that rear door, it rattles pretty bad, so there's something loose inside of it. I'm not really sure what. But like all the gauges work. I ordered new xenon bulbs because these bulbs are going bad. Sometimes they go in and out. So I ordered new bulbs today, new front tie rod ends, and a hood strut. So I got some more videos coming up on this car for the people that enjoy it. It's actually a really unique, fun car. I love this car. At nighttime, when all the dash gauges are illuminated, sometimes the needle on this one doesn't light up, or it'll go in and out, which it's really not that big of a deal. But she's got a lot of miles for a 2001 S4. 222,000, which is a good amount, but this thing runs and drives like a dream. Trust me, minus the front tie rod ends being absolutely, the ball joints on them being blown, it drives really good. It shakes, got a little shimmy to it on the highway, about 50 miles an hour and up, and it feels like it's in the steering wheel. And the front brakes, rotors and pads are brand new from FCP Euro. So the only other thing I can think of is either in the steering wheel is them tie rod ends, and that's the only thing that's really loose in the front end. I've gotten it up, I've shook it down. The front tires are worn fairly even, so I don't think it's the tires. The rear tires are worn pretty uneven, and the rear brakes are not new, but they don't look terrible at all. Could be warped rotors in the rear. Could be unmounted tires, or unbalanced tires, my bad. Unmounted, you wouldn't even be driving. But I'm going to go with those tie rod ends, my experience. And then the only mechanical issue is, besides the headlights going in and out, the low beams, which, like I said, I ordered new xenon bulbs, so today actually, which I'll do those in the tie rod ends and everything in one video, and kind of show you guys my trick to lining up tie rod ends when you take them off and put new ones on, so your alignment is pretty freaking close to what it was, so you don't have to get an alignment right away. Like, if you don't have the money for it, I'm going to get an alignment right away because I have the money for it, but then it's just going to be good. But in case you're stuck in a budget, whatever, I used to be like that all the time, sometimes still am. You got to do the best you can, you know what I mean? You got to work with what you got. But yeah, sometimes under boost in, third, fourth, fifth gear, sixth gear, it'll break up under boost a little bit. I have new coil packs on the way. They still haven't shown up. It's been like a week and a half. So I did new spark plugs. I gapped them correctly, and it got way better. But 3 of my coil packs are cracked in like 2 different spots. So I'm going to guess that's my problem, is why it breaks up under boost. They're really old. They're corroded on the end, and 3 of them are broken up. We're cracked in 2 different spots. So I ordered some higher performance coil packs. I already put colder plugs in it. I upgraded the wastegates, or not, my bad, not the wastegates. I upgraded the blow-off valves to the 710N diverter valves off of the TTRS to hold mild to decent boost for a car like this. It's not crazy, so that was a plenty good upgrade. I didn't need to do like the APR diverter valves or anything, or the 0304 Motorsports diverter valves. I'm not making that kind of boost yet to need to hold that. I'm making about 14 to 16. It usually, when it peaks, it'll usually peak around 15 to 16, but sometimes it'll peak at 17 and then hold at like 11. So yeah, it's about everything I'm going to say wrong with it on the interior. We'll get to the exterior. There's really not much wrong with the exterior. I'm pretty impressed with that, especially since I live in Minnesota. But like I said, I bought it a couple weeks ago in South Dakota, so a little different. But we'll get to the exterior and under the hood and stuff like that. There's a little bit of things that need to be fixed, but it's a pretty decent car. I drive it every single day, a day. I got the car 2 weeks ago with 200,000 miles, 290,000 miles, and it's already got 222,215. So I drive this car a lot, and I love it. It gets good gas. It gets almost 25 miles per gallon average, which is really good because I'm in boost a lot. Not a ton of boost, but just a little bit of boost to accelerate. I'm not romping on this car all the time because I know about turbos going out in these cars. I know about timing chains. I know about the cam seals. I know about stuff like that. I know what goes out in these cars. This car also mechanically needs power steering pump. As you can hear that, it's really not good. It's pretty much out, which is like $90 for a reman Audi power steering pump with a pulley on it already, which is a really good deal, which I'm going to do soon. But number 2 is I'm going to say rear rotors and pads, just because they're not done and the front are done, but they don't look bad at all. So, but I'm going to say they need to be done because when I do brakes, I usually replace them in pairs, all 4. But the next thing mechanically that needs to be done is it looks like this side, the rear of the cam seal. I'm not sure if it's exactly called the cam seal, but it's like the tensioner or whatever for the cam is not tensioner. I don't fucking know. I'm buzzed. It's leaking pretty bad, and it drips down onto the downpipe. So I get a little bit of a burning oil smell maybe once a week, but it's nothing strong. It's just a hint smell that if you're a car guy, you can smell it. If you're not, you won't smell it. You'll know what I mean if you guys are car people. Next up, mechanically, like I said, the tie rod ends in the front, they're absolutely blown. Like, you barely touch the tie rod ends and they just clack. They're that bad. Next up, the rear tires are worn. Next up, I'm trying to think what else is next up. Next up is not a maintenance thing, but it's something to do with this, with the boost gauge. I want to get a boost gauge, an oil pressure gauge, and a AFR gauge. And I want to get them on the pillar pod. That's what I'd want to do. I like pillar gauges, especially when you're running a decent car. You know what I mean? You got some mods. You want to check your AFR constantly. You want to check your oil temp. I think I said oil pressure the first time. I meant oil temp. And your boost. So it's just, there's some stuff I want to do with this car. And then a holy grail kind of goal with this car, if I keep it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I have it posted for sale, you know, for about a $2,000 straight profit. And I have over 3,000 views in like 3 days on this car. And why are we rolling back now? Why are we rolling back now? We were just not rolling back. I'm so confused. My mind is so blown right now. We just start rolling back at a fucking high pace. At a fucking Lamborghini pace. I don't know, dude. But one of my holy grail things is I have in my watch list online, and you know, I'm always talking to my girlfriend about it, is the Franken Turbo hybrid kit. It's about $2,100 after the inlets, or the couplers and the bigger injectors and a couple other little things. The installation kit is the hybrid Franken Turbo kit, and it'll make about 415 to 430 wheel horsepower to the all four wheels, and this car will be an animal, absolute animal. It'll be making like high 20s boost to like 30 psi boost with some other supporting mods, and it is, but just with that bolt-on turbo kit and a few little things you need to do to support that, you know, the dyno chart show 413 wheel horsepower, which is, in this little car, is absolutely freaking great. But point is, we'll get to some exterior mods here later in the video. I'm already at 12 minutes in the video, and I'm babbling, if you will. It's also got cup holders right down here. They're useless though. If you want your armrest down, they're useless. So driving here, I was just kind of cruising. I was looking at, the last like month and a half, we've had deer and turkeys out in our fields like all the time. I'm just kind of waiting to see the bucks grow their antlers back because we had a few decent bucks. But I was gonna hit some boost right here just to kind of show you guys what it does with a stage 2 tune. It's not like a stage 2 with all the supporting mods, you know, with the downpipes and the upgraded diverter valves and the coil packs, spark plugs, bipipes, anything like that, turbo inlets. It doesn't have all that. The previous one I did a stage 2 tune and didn't do anything to support it, which is, you know, a no-no. That will blow internals. But sorry I sound like an idiot right now. Like I said, I'm pretty buzzed right now. I may have had a little bit of something else too, but it's when I feel my best. So, and I love driving manual. It's just something I've liked doing since I learned it. It's just, you're more in tune with the car, you more feel everything. And mechanically, it needs two motor mounts, and it needs a transmission mount, which I'm going to order probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm looking for a good deal on the aftermarket ones from ECS Tuning, but they're really damn expensive. So I might just go back to stock for now, because stock is better than broken, right? You can't deny that. But this thing has the tune where if you turn the key off and then you turn it on, but you don't start the car, you just leave it on, and then you hold the cruise button, the engine light will flash and it'll go back to stock, or it'll go to stage 2. But I'm in second gear right now, and like I said, it breaks up under boost. My guess is the coil packs. If it's not the coil packs, it's got to be the O2 sensors, one of them, because this car runs phenomenal, but sometimes when you're in boost, it'll break up. Didn't really break up there. It hit about 14 to 15 pounds of boost. I see this car hit 17 about a quarter of the time when it's running great. So you can hear the speakers whining in the rear. That's not the car. That's not the power steering pump whining. That's not the gears. That's the rear speakers. Because if you turn the radio off, it goes silent. So Could use a few things, but I mean, overall, it's a really nice car. It's got zero rust even underneath it. The bolts for the suspension are still clean, which is insane for a Minnesota car. But it's only been a minute. I'm going first. And it handles like a dream. It absolutely handles like a dream. It's on H-knot lowering springs. That's about it. It's got a few upgraded bushings in the suspension in the rear, and one on each side in the front for the lower control arms. They look like a polyurethane bushing, but I'm not 100%. But like I said, it needs the main things this car needs to run and drive better. It runs and drives great around town, you know, up to 50. But on the highway, it'll get a little shake and then it'll go away, and then it'll get it back and it'll go away. And it feels like the front tie rod ends. I've done enough work to know different shakes. You know, if you're driving and it doesn't shake, but you hit the brake pedal and it shakes, that's your front rotors being warped, or your pads being just shot. Usually both. You replace them together. If you're driving and you feel like a shimmy and it's coming from the rear end, but it's not when you're on the brakes, it's usually just your rear rotors and pads. If you're driving and you know your brakes are good, but you feel like a little shimmy in the steering wheel, or like you feel it coming from the front end, most likely your tie rod ends. Like control arm bushings and stuff usually won't cause that shake unless they're super bad. But if they're just bad, it's usually just clunking over bumps like this one does. It only clunks over major bumps. Like little bumps, it feels great. This car feels great to drive. Steering wheel good, drives straight. But there's a lot of stuff I'd like to do this car and actually vlog my experience on it and kind of just get it back to its glory days. You know what I mean? It's a 2001 B5 S4. It's a very sought after car in the car community. I've always wanted this car. It's gonna be a long ass video, FYI. But it's good. I mean, you're sitting here cruising in third gear and you know you want to get into some boost. You know, about half throttle, you get it. I should not go that fast right here. I'm gonna slow down. But it's a good car. I really want to get the APR R1 diverter valves. I believe that's what they are. They're APR. I think it's R1. I'm not 100% sure. I only looked at them a couple times. They sound really good. A huge popular blow-off valve for this car. With this car, you have to get two because it's, you know, a twin turbo. You need two diverter valves. One that I kind of want to try is the 034 Motorsports diverter valves, because apparently people love them on these cars and they hold a high boost. Like I said, I upgraded them to the 710N diverter valves off the TTRS, but they only are good for mild applications, mild boost upgrades. So we'll find out. I mean, they hold good. It makes about 1 pound to 2 pounds more boost now, and I don't have a manual boost controller or anything. It feels better, if that's understandable. My buddy has a 89 or 87 Fox body Mustang, and it's cammed. It's got a stage 3 cam. The thing absolutely chops. It's got full headers, exhaust, intake, internals. It's got a lot of stuff. It makes around 300 to the wheels, and I pull on him. We were racing in St. Cloud. Was it last night? It was last night or the night before. I think 2 nights ago. We were racing. We were doing some pulls, and I was pulling on him a little bit. So, you know, I was about 1.5 cars ahead of him. So, and that's when I had a little bit of a boost leak because I didn't have the clamp on. I had zip ties because I didn't go get new clamps for the blow-off valves I installed. So I had it zip tied together into the hose, and it was slipped out. So it was, you know, leaking boost, and it was only making about 9 pounds. So I popped the hood. I'm like, oh shit, my diverter valves popped out, and I was pulling on them a little bit still. So I'm guessing right now I would pull on them pretty well. So I mean, like, the car for like very little mods is very potent. It's a very good car.